Superman is out. It's a big hit, but we want to make sure the DCU has a bit of variety, and we've got some thoughts. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Strong Collectors Comics. I'm your host Jordan, joined today as ever by my plucky co-host Dakota. And as I said, we like the idea of the DCU coming. James Gunn has mentioned he would like to play with a lot of different varieties of genres in the DCU. So we thought we'd get ahead of the curve and think of some genres that we'd like to see with some potential plots, some characters, any kind of ideas we can come up with for the DCU moving forward. So obviously we've had Superman, Dakota, kind of your standard superhero vibe. I thought it was cool. I thought it was good. Kind of stays in the general superhero pool, action, adventure. And I think what James Gunn is trying to do is saying a lot of people think of superhero as like the genre, right? Like it's just superhero. And that's kind of for the MCU for the most part, kind of has that, right? It's you kind of know what you're going to get. But as we know as comic readers, both you and I and everyone listening, comics can be a variety of things. They can be funny, they can be horror, they can be romance. You name it, a comic book can do it. So I've got some ideas, Dakota. I'm sure you've got some. Are there any burning genres and plots that you would like to see coming from the DCU?
I think I'll start you out with one of my more interesting ones. You know, we've got that retention thing. People are out in 30 seconds, so I'm going to hit you with a good one.
Good. They're going to get bad.
I mean, I think a good chunk of mine are good. I've got some that I need your help with, but this first one I feel very strongly about.
All right.
And we're going to go documentary style. So I want this to be kind of like a self-shot-ish.
Like found footage style?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
So this is going to be following...
I'm in already, but...
We're following everybody's favorite, Booster Gold. Because I feel like he's constantly, talking to Skeets, right? His little robot. And like the first time I read Booster Gold in comics, I don't even remember what comic it was, but I felt like he was talking to Skeets as if he was like, documenting his time here in this time period or whatever it is. So that's kind of what I imagine. Like we find this footage and then we're kind of following Booster Gold through whether it's when he first gets here or whatever kind of heroics he's going about doing. But it's kind of in that like, The Office kind of shaky style. You can tell that it's Skeets like zooming in sometimes.
Yeah.
Booster Gold's talking straight to the camera.
Oh, okay. I like that because I think sometimes the hardest thing with found footage documentary style is like, why is it this way? And a lot of the times it's budget. But I think with Booster Gold, that's an in-universe story reason why it's found footage, right? And you could explain what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that idea.
I thought that was like a kind of an out there, like I'm sure some of the other ones I have are like true crime, Western documentary, or not documentary, but like horror, romantic comedy, stuff like that. Like those are pretty common, like those are popular, but I don't think a lot of people would think off the top of their head documentary. So I thought that was an interesting way to start. Because I was also going like, should this be a Jimmy Olsen thing? I was like, I don't know if I really want to follow Jimmy Olsen through like, I was like, should it be kind of Kingdom Come-y where we're like, getting that overview of like watching the world happen below. But I liked Booster Gold the best.
Okay, I think he's a good fit for that. And I know they had announced a Booster Gold show. It seems like it's maybe stalled a little bit. We're not sure. But I think the found footage could be a good format for that.
Yeah.
So I like it. I'm in. Okay, so found footage Booster Gold coming to you. So one that I have is definitely going to be more murder mystery style. Now, you know and I know, Dakota, there's a great storyline that could be the template for this, and I'm thinking an identity crisis. Maybe you've got this one on your list as well. But, okay, so I'm thinking that could be, if you're not familiar with that one, folks, basically starts with the murder of it's the elongated man's wife, civilian character, and she is killed. Nobody knows exactly why or what's happening. And they go from there. So part of the plot is who killed this person, and it brings in some of your lesser-known heroes, I think. You got like Elongated Man, there's Green Arrow, Black Canary, some other of those characters that maybe don't get as much love, which I think is a good fit for James Gunn for the DCU because he does like bringing in, I think Batman is in it in a little bit, but he's not like the main guy. So I think you could build that in pretty well. to the DCU, and I think you might. I don't know. I guess what I'm kind of split on is, would you wait to build the universe? Probably a little bit more, so maybe you have some attachment to these characters. But I think a lot of people could be showing up for the first time in that story, because it's not necessarily like your A-listers that are all going to be in there. But I think using that, maybe you can incorporate some of the like Justice Gang type characters.
Yeah.
And in this version, who knows, you could have Superman show up in some capacity. But basically going with a murder mystery style plot, loosely based on maybe like MCU style, where it's not like a shot-for-shot thing, but like we're taking the essence of Identity Crisis and we're going to use it. Honestly, I say a movie, but I think that'd be a better mini-series, like a 6-ish or a 6-episode, 6 to 8 maybe, if we're feeling good, 8 episodes, of like the mystery unveiling and it's leading to some deeper stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I went a little more single charactered with my true crime mystery type of movie, or it could be a show. But I was thinking, I thought you were going to have the question. I was like, we never shut up about the question. I was like, I got to pick somebody other than the question. I think that's the obvious choice. I'd love to see it. But for this episode, I'm going to say a Green Arrow. Because I think this would kind of give him... I don't know. I think Arrow did an okay job of this, but I feel like it would kind of bring in a little bit more of Arrow's smarts, Green Arrow's smarts, helping him. I mean, you probably would throw in Black Canary and kind of a team up there, but it keeps it, very street level. He's, we've got Superman who's going to be going after the world-ending threats, but like I always say, somebody else has got to be out there stopping the street level thugs from hurting your everyday citizens. So I think he would be a good one for kind of a street level murder mystery, gang style whodunit.
With maybe the events of Identity Crisis going on in the background.
Yeah. Now I'll say that I almost, when I was going through my list, I almost put Green Arrow in more of a Western movie, but then I decided to switch and put my Western movie to be a Red Hood movie.
Okay.
Because I think he's a little bit more,
like a modern Western style, you're saying?
Yeah, more modern Western. Because I think for that one, too, I originally was like maybe Vigilante, just because I'm, my mind's eye of Vigilante is from the cartoons. He was much more cowboy. I think they've kind of already established him in this universe, and he's not my mind's eye of Vigilante. I think he's a little maybe more comic accurate, but still, I like the cowboy Vigilante. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
And you still got the quick draw guns type of thing with Red Hood. I imagine he's kind of got that like, sheriff coming into town to clean up the streets type of attitude.
Okay, yeah.
Riding his motorcycle instead of, that steel horse type of thing.
Right.
I see him coming through Gotham, just hand at the holster, ready to draw down on
dispense some justice.
Yep.
Okay, I like it. I was thinking more like Western. You know what I know? I was thinking of Jonah Hex plot.
Makes sense.
There's a character I've found recently that I'm very interested in called Marilyn Moonlight. I don't know if you've heard of her before, Dakota.
No.
She looks very cool. I think you'd look at her and be like, looks nice. Kind of like a spectral cowgirl sheriff type.
Okay.
With the hood and the mask and the cape, kind of Zorro thing going on.
Okay.
Some, pistols. So kind of the plot is she's like in the old-timey, I think, like Metropolis, and then somehow she ends up becoming a specter and coming to the modern day. But I think you'd do a cool period piece, Western style. Maybe bring in some of your Western heroes that we like so much from that era. Could kind of maybe parallel the modern plot. Maybe that's like a two-parter.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get synergy, I guess, with all our ideas.
Right.
But I think period piece would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I would like is a World War II period piece, whether it's a show or a movie. I think it is ripe for a Justice Society storyline. You got your heroes, because I think the MCU really missed their chance with the Invaders, World War II heroes fighting in that war in a real context. So I think DCU could take that place by putting your JSA characters in World War II. Maybe have some flash forwards, and then you could have some of those characters show up, the older versions in the modern era. But I think I'd love to see some World War II superhero action.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah, that's very cool. I think I would assume we probably both have a horror movie, right?
Yeah, I've got some ideas.
All right, I'll do mine first, and I think this is gonna be. You just let me borrow this book not too long ago, and I think it would make a better movie than it did a book. But the Arkham Asylum, kind of where you're following the nurse through a day in Arkham.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would go with that exact same plot, but I think you would have to. I think it would be interesting to have more of the nurses or someone working in Arkham's perspective of going around. There's maybe you don't see the Joker right away or all these different characters, but there's always that alluding to like don't go in that room, or like that wing is off limits type of thing. One of the inmates escapes. They're somewhere within the asylum. Everybody's a little on edge, creepy.
Okay. I like the vibes there. Yeah, I think Arkham Asylum would be a great basis for something, whether it's a movie, whether it's a show.
Yeah.
I think there's some good horror, and I know we're getting Clayface coming up. It's supposed to be straight horror, so we've been told, Dakota. So, I mean, the obvious ones for me would be like a Swamp Thing. I know they announced that. It sounds like it's maybe stalled a little bit, but I think something like that would be a great format for horror. I had liked what was it called? It was called Batman Gotham County Line, where Batman actually gets drawn out into like the suburbs of Gotham, which I thought was kind of an interesting idea because it's out of his usual setting. But there's like a murder, and then there's like, some kind of supernatural stuff. I think there's creatures rising up, and Batman's out of his element, but he's forced to like reckon with something very supernatural. I think Batman, we've gotten like hints of it, but never really full horror for Batman. So I think introducing a Batman that's really dealing with an actual horror, kind of more of the Arkham game vibes. I like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a nurse in the background of the story. But yeah, I think some of these I would not mind at all if they did like Marvel special presentation style.
Yeah.
But like that, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be, even to me, all these like movies. I think just having even like a 45-hour long special.
45 hours, dang, dude.
45-minute, 1 hour.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'd watch 45 hours. But like Batman going into the suburbs for like a little 1 hour special or something. Like, I would be totally okay with that, because that could be low budget. You don't. I think all of these you can make relatively lower budget, because you wouldn't need what you. I know you love it, Dakota, when there's giant space clouds and laser beams and the city gets destroyed every time. But it'd be like, we don't have to do that every time. We can just show kind of a smaller scale, more focused on the characters, and then that can maybe lead into something bigger.
Yeah.
I think we would need a romance. Do you have any romances that you've cooked up?
I've got kind of a romantic comedy section here. I've got a few couples. I was thinking like Nightwing and Starfire. I could see them kind of being funny. They're not. Neither one of them are so serious. I think you could kind of play around with like Starfire's more scantily looks. Maybe she puts on the outfit. He's like, whoa, wait, what's going on here? Type of silliness. I think Beast Boy and Raven, sticking with the Teen Titans, would also be a good. I mean, maybe it's a whole Teen Titans movie, and that's more the romantic comedy of, falling in love in Titan's Tower type of thing. Because I think Beast Boy and Raven are kind of fun, because he's goofy, she's kind of the goth. Right. It's kind of an odd pairing that works out well. And then I was outside of Teen Titans, though. I was like, maybe we go with Mr. Miracle and Big Barda, because it's. I think it's a little unexpected, but they're one of the more famous, popular couples in DC. And I just think that would be interesting to see. Like, it'd be a different type of female in a romantic comedy than what I think we're used to, which I think would work with being a superhero romantic comedy, because it's already different. Yeah.
I think Big Barda, I know they talked about doing, I think it might be something more animated that they're doing, Mr. Miracle, Big Barda style. But I hope that they would lean into the romance element, because I think that would be pretty cool. I think Titans would be good for, like, you kind of get that classic 80s, teenage romance hijinks kind of thing going on.
Right.
And you could focus on that. I think that would be a good pick. my brain went right to like a Black Canary, Green Arrow for a romance. Just because I think that's a great couple. I was thinking of like my brain was going to like a supervillain romance, but not a Joker Harley Quinn.
Yeah. I mean the Harley Quinn cartoon animated series right now is pretty good, and they kind of have that like relationship. But yeah,
though I'm thinking like a I don't even know who I want to have a romance.
Penguin, just with somebody.
Right. My brain did go to a penguin. I guess like a Mr.
would.
Freeze could be kind of a romantic thing, but
Yeah.
like I'm just thinking like a Parasite or the Riddler in Love kind of thing. Like not necessarily has to be one of those, but maybe we go with a lower tier character too.
I mean, if you do go villain, I kind of wonder like is it like a romantic horror where it's like they're in love? Like it kind of like does that like 75% through the special or movie or series, whatever it is. It kind of like the character Riddler finds out like, okay, this girl that I'm in love with, I have no chance with, and then he goes and like murders the other guy and the girl or something like that.
Ooh, goes dark.
Okay. So because you get the like rainbows, sunshine, flowers, and love. Hard pivot.
Yeah.
Murder.
I'd be here for something like that. Or and I think we definitely would need like some kind of Plastic Man absurd comedy movie too. I think I would go for that as well.
So I got two more categories. One, we're gonna stick with kind of the Big Barda, Mr. Miracle idea, but this movie, we're leaving those characters. They're gonna be off on their romantic adventure. On the same world, though, we're gonna have a heist movie. So I feel like you've got all those kind of like Fast and Furious types, and so we're gonna go heist movie. We're gonna use Orion as kind of the lead with whatever new gods you want to pull in. I think there's some sort of technology on Apocalypse that they've got to get in, get out. I think.
All right.
We have probably. I don't think you can really put Darkseid in the movie. I think you got to save him for like more of a Justice League, something down the road. But I think you still add in like Granny Goodness or any of those. Like obviously we're gonna have to fight through some parademons at some point. But Orion and the new gods got to get in, get the technology, and get back. So
I love that.
I thought that was a fun one.
I think that would be a great premise for one. Okay, yeah. I think a heist one, that's very cool. I like that.
Kind of Ocean's 11 type of vibes.
You could do that. Makes me want to do like a supervillain one, but like Reservoir Dog style, where it's like the action happens and you're just following the 6 or so characters that are in the safe house. I think you could do an awesome supervillain version. Don't you think? But it's not the action. It's like them hiding out in their personalities. And I think James Gunn would be like love an idea like that.
That's true.
Because it would just focus on. And one of them could be, like Kite Man or Condiment Man or, something goofy. And then you maybe got your more, like, serious ones. But
Two-Face or something, yeah.
I'd love a heist DCU movie.
There you go. And then my last one, we're going back to, like, a classic fighting. So I'm kind of like maybe a Roadhouse type of deal, maybe like a Never Back Down type of movie.
Okay.
And it's going to be following Wildcat, maybe his, like... It's like his comeback tour. He was a boxer. Now he's coming back into the ring, but he's wanting to, reach whatever boxing championship type thing. But then there's all the heroics and things he's doing, kind of set back in a little more olden times. I mean, not olden times, but like take us back to like the 60s or something like that.
All right.
But I think that would be kind of a fun one to follow. He's popular-ish, but he never is going to get the spotlight. But this kind of movie, I think he could shine, and you could bring in some of those, like, maybe he, like, runs into some of his old JSA buddies.
Okay.
And you could bring in some of the, maybe he, like, meets a young Black Canary or something like that, and maybe he, like, rescues her from the streets, just like a quick cameo type deal.
Right. Kind of sets that up as, okay. I'm here for that too. You got me thinking as you said that about like a
DCKO.
DCKO. No, I was thinking like a Terminator style sci-fi horror, but you got like a Metallo from the future comes back to kill the Kents or something before or like he wants to kill Superman as a baby when he's weak or something.
That's
So
cool.
and then you could have like they're on the run. Doesn't have to be Superman, but you can make it.
I like that, especially being like a baby or something like where he's
They're
not
just
going to actually
ripping
be
off
any
Terminator,
help.
but we're doing it DC style, and then maybe you have like a character in this timeline who would have been like a hero in the 80s or 90s is like helping them to, stay safe or something like that.
Yeah,
That could be kind of fun.
good idea.
I love the boxing though. I think it could have some sweet boxing scenes.
Yeah, just like the Rocky running up the stairs, punching
Yeah.
meat. Just beating his meat right on screen.
That's what we want, James Gunn. Please give it to us. Those are some of our thoughts on genres and some ideas of what we'd like to see out of those genres in the DCU. You let us know what you think, what some of your favorite ideas are, any that you have. If you'd like to hear more, there are no shortage of ideas that we have, folks, so we could do more of this. Please let us know if you'd like to see it. Please be liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, as always, stay strong.